Good afternoon. I'm here to share some important updates from the Ministry of Public Works that will positively impact the lives of Bermudians. As part of the recent mid-year budget review, we have been allocated an additional $3,465,000 to fund several projects to enhance our infrastructure and benefit our community. These funds are in addition to those provided for in the annual budget in March and to supplement the work currently being done. We're here today at the Arboretum, just off Middle Road in Devonshire, where one of our amazing solo sweepers, Mr. Willard Richardson, operates from. He, like the others, turns up for work every day and gets the job done. These are the gentlemen with the yellow trolleys who work individually across the island. So another $200,000 is provided to hire 10 additional solo sweepers. These individuals will help keep our streets clean by removing debris from specific areas across the island. As we have had a reduction in the current number of sweepers, we will be replacing those 4 as well. So in total, we will be hiring 14 additional sweepers who will be deployed across the island. This will take the number to 20 solo sweepers and is good value for money as each of them diligently go about their work. $200,000 will go toward clearing overgrown vegetation on the tribe roads. These roads are essential not just for residents, but also for emergency services responding to incidents. Keeping them clear is important for everyone's safety. A further $200,000 will be used to clear overgrown vegetation on the railway trails. Currently, parks workers carry out this work on weekends, but have struggled to manage. The bulk of the funding, just over $2,865,000, is earmarked for capital works. For instance, we are investing $400,000 to repair several public docks, including Mangrove Bay Dock and Sands, Ports Island, Dock Hill Swimming Facility, and the Prison Farm Jetty. These docks are widely used for fishing, swimming, and boat activities, as well as for various community programs like summer camps and charities. These works will be carried out before the start of next summer's season. We will spend $1 million on private sector road paving. I must note that for several years, funding has not been available for this purpose. We have identified areas in need, and we will work with local MPs to initiate the necessary processes under the Private Roads Improvement Act, 1969, and the Private Roads Lighting Act, 1984. Elsewhere, to improve road safety, we are dedicating $100,000 to installing additional streetlights on private roads. Better lighting means safer conditions for drivers and pedestrians alike. We believe that improving these roads will benefit residents by enhancing safety and accessibility in their neighborhoods. We're also allocating $150,000 to purchase new highway-grade aluminum guardrails. These will help minimize injuries by protecting drivers from hazards like steep drops, utility poles, and bridge pillars. Pedestrian safety is equally important. We're investing $80,000 to purchase 10 sets of new flashing pedestrian beacons for crosswalks. This will bring our total to 44 new beacons over the past 2 years, which will make crossing the street safer for everyone. At the busy intersection near the WER Joe Tennis Stadium on Marsh Folly Road and St. John's Road, which many students use from nearby schools, we are spending $180,000 to repair sidewalks and install steel fencing. Our public parks are valuable community spaces. We are putting $80,000 towards updating and installing fencing around parks to enhance their appearance and control vehicular access. We're investing $250,000 to replace old playground equipment at Shelley Bay, Somerset Long Bay, and Warwick Long Bay. We want our children to have safe, modern places to play and enjoy the outdoors. At Horseshoe Bay Beach, the lifeguard tower and changing room need replacing. Therefore, we are putting aside $175,000 to ensure this popular beach remains safe and welcoming for locals and visitors. Last but certainly not least, one of our projects focuses on supporting young adults aged 18 to 24 who are transitioning out of the Department of Child and Family Services care. Earlier this year, we opened the Independent Living Program facility in St. George's, which provides housing and support for up to 11 young people who've aged out of the system. We are granting $450,000 to the Bermuda Housing Corporation for renovations to enhance this facility. These upgrades include adding a meeting room, offices, a bathroom, a kitchenette, and a bedroom for staff. These funds will be used to improve infrastructure and provide better access to parks and walking trails. These projects are about real improvements that you will notice in your everyday life walk. I'm pleased that the Minister of Finance has decided to invest some of the extra revenue back into the community by providing this mid-year budget boost. It allows us to advance work that we would not otherwise have been able to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for your briefing on the mid-year budget review. We're going to take questions now, starting with the Royal Gazette.
Okay, thanks for that, Minister. You mentioned a lot of work on private roads. Is everything on the public roads that's already covered in the regular budget?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of potholes and that.
Yeah, and we got an extra $1 million this year to go towards that.
Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned the lifeguard tower at Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Horseshoe. Can you go a little bit more into the whole thing needs to be replaced?
So there's a whole issue going on with lifeguards at the moment. We're trying to sort out exactly what it is and answer, I think, some media's questions. But essentially what the challenge is there now is the lifeguard tower has outlived its usefulness, and so we're looking to replace it. I don't think it'll cost $175,000. I should put on a marker, but that's what we've allocated, and those funds will be used elsewhere if the cost is less than that.
Okay. Can you say where the fencing is? You'd mentioned some fencing to improve safety.
Okay, so in most cases around the island, we have wooden fencing. That will remain. I'm not sure where exactly the aluminum fencing will go, but it'll go in a place similar to what exists currently on South Shore Road in Smiths and on Happy Valley Road as two examples.
And with the transitional housing, do you have a time frame on that? For completion
well, they're
of work?
ready to go. They've been waiting for money. So the residents are present in the building upstairs. This is the downstairs part of the building that'll be renovated, and that work will start imminently.
Great start. And do you know how long it will take to complete?
I don't, but it shouldn't be that long. It's 2 rooms.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll take questions now from Bermuda Broadcasting.
Thank you. So, speaking to some of the things that this is allocated to, and you did talk about clearing vegetation on tribe roads, railway trails. Just clarify for us the flash flooding we saw last week. The basically too much rain for our drainage systems. Is any of this could affect that, or is that completely separate?
So no. The challenge last week was, no matter where you live in the world, no matter what country you live in, when you have that amount of rain, you're going to have flooding. And so the only area where we have identified we need to have a real look at is waterlogging, where I think there is only one hole in the wall for the water to go through. And so it's like emptying your bathtub. It's not instantaneous. It takes a period of time. And so following the flooding last week, we inspected every area where there was flooding. In some cases, there was some debris that was in some of the drains. The challenge there always is, in this modern age where we blow grass and trees that we cut onto somebody else's property, a lot of that goes into the drains and causes blockages. And so that may be the case in some of the instances, but the majority of the challenge with the flooding last week was that we just do not have the infrastructure to drain it off as quickly as one would like.
Okay. And moving on to the money being put towards private road paving, etc. We did see in the run-up to the Sands North, Smiths North by-election back in May, talk about, I can't remember the name of the hill, but where
It's
they couldn't...
called Loyal Hill Pass.
There, where they couldn't, the road was problematic. They couldn't take a trash truck up there. Is that the kind of thing that's going to be addressed?
Yes,
in this?
that is on the list. So the process is that it is a private road. So that means it's not owned by government. It's not like Middle Harbour and South Road, which are owned by government and are public roads. And so that means that all of the landowners that have frontage on that road must make a contribution. Well, first of all, a majority of them must agree that they want the road paved, and a majority of them must make a contribution towards paying for that. The government will also make a contribution. There's a set formula for it. I'm not going to try and explain it to you now, but what we initially do is to get a quote from, because most of this work is done by East End on our behalf. So we'll get a quote from East End for the work to be done. We will then calculate what the government share is and what each landowner's share by the amount of frontage that they have on the road. That information then will be passed on to the MP for the district. He has to go and canvass, like he would asking for their vote. He has to go in and secure a majority of landowners who agree to pay. And then after that stage, then the work will be carried out by the government.
Okay. And my final question would be, you mentioned WER, Joel, tennis stadium. Right now, just outside there's problems with the traffic lights. Is that involved in any of this, or is that a complete separate project?
The problem at WER, Joel, is the computer mechanisms that control the three-way lights. And so you will have seen that in some instances we've replaced them with other lights that do not react to traffic driving over the sensors on the road, and so they're just on a time schedule and they go in sequence. In other instances, we have always stop, which is for the individual drivers, which seems to work a little better than traffic lights, particularly during rush hour. We are waiting on parts, and as soon as they come, we will have the original lights back up and running.
Thank you.
That just reminded me, Canal Road in town, is that Public Works or is that City of Hamilton?
No, that's Public Works.
It is.
Yes.
So the Canal Road, there was the damage to the bridge,
Yes.
that's still closed. Any idea?
Yes, it's out to tender, and so that work will be done as soon as that process ends, and then Canal Road will be reopened.
Thank you, members of the media. Thank you, Minister, for your presentation today, talking about the mid-year budget review spending within your ministry. And that concludes today's presentation.